Hello again, everyone. Didn't think I'd be joining you again today, but I saw something so extraordinary on YouTube today, I couldn't resist making another one. And I know some of you are wondering, Charlie, you're in the Bronx. What's with this cowboy hat? And I'll confess, I was too lazy to take a shower. So I put on this hands-free umbrella so you wouldn't notice. Can I say? But don't let me get distracted as I often do. I saw something so outrageous on YouTube today. I was stunned. It finally came right out of the mouths of one of these free grace, uncredentialed YouTube preaching quacks. What they've been saying sotto voce for all these years came explicitly out of the mouth of Jack Smack last night. Matthew G. Correll. This is the obnoxious, free grace, libertine, hides behind the sock puppet, Jack Smack, never has the courage to debate anyone, especially me. But he came out and said yesterday in this video, this very well viewed video, I might add, he said explicitly what some of the, shall we say, a little more Christian savvy YouTube preaching quacks have been saying implicitly, which is that you can live like the devil and still go to heaven. It's not an issue. Sin is not a problem. Now, those who advocate for once saved, always saved, they're saying the same thing, but they're not going to come out and tell you, you know what? You can live like the devil and still go to heaven. They're a little bit smarter than that. But this character, Jack Smack, who's only wants to grow his channel, really, that's his main purpose. He also wants to take you to hell. He's a malevolent spirit. Unlike some of these others who are just attention seekers, this character, Jack Smack, actually wants to take you to hell. But yesterday, in this extraordinarily stupid video, he came out and said explicitly that if your gospel doesn't allow you to live like the devil, then it's not the gospel. What an amazing message. What a perverse message. I want you to hear it yourself. I have a 35-second clip. Listen to the words of this minister from hell. Stand by. So this is a video with a very apropos thumbnail, I might add, that Jack Smack, Matthew G. Correll, posted yesterday, March 15th, 2025, I believe. Maybe you posted it after midnight on the 16th. I don't know. I'm thinking it was March 15th yesterday. But look at the thumbnail picture there. Never believe you can live like the devil and go to heaven? Well, then you're unsaved. If you don't believe that you can live like the devil and still go to heaven, according to Jack Smack, you're unsaved. Shame on you. So this fool actually came out and said explicitly what the Layman Seminary, what Praise the I Am, what Pastor Jesse Martinez, and a legion of other YouTube preaching quacks have been saying implicitly for years, that you can live like the devil and still go to heaven. So I'm going to play this 30-second clip. And because the Zoom program doesn't always get the audio too well, I'm going to let it play 2 or 3 times just so you can hear it. It's incredible. Listen to this guy.
You believe that you can't live like the devil and go to heaven, you have a false grace. You have a meager supply of grace that can't save anyone. Moving on to the next point, and that would be in your system, if you can't live like the devil and go to heaven, then you believe that grace can be out-sinned. Romans chapter 5 and verse 20 tells us that where sin abounds, grace does much more abound. If you can't live a certain way,
he changed, because the devil is a liar, he changed Romans 5:20. He changed the participle ending of that verse. It said, where grace abound, sin abounded. But grace abounded more, past tense. He pretends it's in the present tense. He pretends if you sin, you're going to get more grace. It's incredible. But let's listen to him again.
Way and still go to heaven, then grace doesn't abound and can be overpowered by sin. If you believe that you can't live like the devil and go to heaven, you have a false grace. You have a meager supply of grace that can't save anyone. Moving on to the next point, and that would be in your system, if you can't live like the devil and go to heaven, then you believe that grace can be out sinned. Romans chapter 5 and verse 20 tells us that where sin abounds, grace does much more abound. If you can't live a certain way.
No, it does not say grace does much more abound. It said grace much more abounded, past tense, discrete one-time event. But this liar doesn't care, obviously. He wants to take you to hell with him. I don't know. I guess maybe he's looking for employment down there. I don't know.
And still go to heaven, then grace doesn't abound and can be overpowered by sin. If you believe that you can't live like the devil and go to heaven, you have a false grace. You have a meager supply of grace that can't save anyone. Moving on to the next point, and that would be in your system, if you can't live like the devil and go to heaven, then you believe that grace can be out sinned. Romans chapter 5 and verse 20 tells us that where sin abounds, grace does much more abound. If you can't live a certain way and still go to heaven, then grace doesn't abound and can be overpowered by sin. If you
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Let me just I'm going to show you that verse so you'll know how he distorted it. So Jack Smack took Romans 5:20 out of context here. Paul is talking about contrasting the law of Moses and the grace of the new covenant under Jesus. And he says the law came in, the law of Moses came in so that the trespass, the sin, the guilt would increase. But where the guilt increased, grace increased all the more. It doesn't increase all the more where there's more guilt. It increased at this discrete time. Okay, so major difference, obviously, put this down. But again, here is this character, and I don't know if you noticed there. This video has already received over 1,000 views in less than 24 hours. I suspect it's going to be one of his all-time biggest hits for Jack Smack. He has said explicitly what the others are saying implicitly. And don't let them fool you. That's the whole lore of free grace. That you can live like the devil and still go to heaven. This is what free grace is, actually. It's a research program which is supposed to supply some spurious rationale for you to gain heaven without actually having to pick up your cross and follow that long and hard road that leads to life. So I'm just, I was astounded that somebody actually came out and finally said it in the clear, because that's what these people are all about. These sulfur-reeking, tear-sowing, pious frauds who would not know the Holy Ghost from the ghost of Christmas past. People like Pastor Jesse Martinez. People like Praise I Am and his absolutely despicable panelists who join him every night. You know who I'm talking about. I mean, these characters are out here basically doing hell's work. But as the Lord said, we would know them by their fruits. And when you have to hide behind a sock puppet like Jack Smack does, when you're loath to show your face, and you know you are, Matthew, when you have to hide, we shouldn't be taking you very seriously, should we? I will leave it here. Don't know when I'll be back, but it's been fun visiting with you these last few days. And next time I'll take a shower. Have a good night, everyone.